Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR Today, Friday morning, July 17th, 2020. It's the man they call Meathead. And let's get the business out of the way real quick. Like, subscribe on all your favorite podcast platforms, really. YouTube, the Facebook, the Stitcher, the Spotify, the Apple Podcasts. Get on over to Fight TV, the Sprecher, Root Beer, the Spreaker, Speaker, whatever they're called. But wherever you're listening to us, if you're liking and subscribing, it is making a difference. We love the fact that you guys are interacting. Next, we need you to start commenting on it. Tell us what you want to talk about. Tell us, other than, the updates on the world of business, as wrestling goes, talking about, previewing shows, reviewing shows. Tonight's going to be a little bit different night. We don't really have, we could do a SmackDown preview, but honestly, it's the go home for Extreme Rules that has been beaten to death, and we know what Raw and SmackDown look like. So Matthew Thomas and myself are going to talk about something a little different. Morning, Matthew.
Good morning. What about Boxopods? Can you subscribe on Boxopods?
Boxopods? I have no idea. I'm going to have to look that one up.
I'm not sure that it exists.
Yeah. You know what we really should start doing, Matthew? You have opened my eyes. I didn't think I wanted to bring this on, but, us pre-show right before we hit the record button, how are you and me not on Cameo? How is the Pro Wrestling Report not on Cameo?
I think that's something that we can remedy very quick. If there's somebody out there who, wants to wish somebody a happy conception or, somebody's getting divorced. And
I am not above wishing anything. I'll be completely honest.
And you need us to break the news to your partner? That's what we're here for.
Let's be honest, though. There are some that I am above. I'm not going to be talking about, hey, I heard you lost your arm in an accident. Yeah, that sucks. I'm not doing that.
In good taste. Anything in good taste.
Well, good taste. I'm not above good taste. We can get down there. But yeah, hey, man, we're going to have to take a look at that. But back to what we were talking about. Let's talk about what we watched, which was another WWE documentary, this one on Jeff Hardy. Matthew, you and I both saw this. I believe did you watch it last night or this morning?
I watched it very, very recently, actually. So
okay.
I watched it this morning.
Okay. I got mine in last night. What did you think? The half-hour documentary. Commercial breaks. If you
need something to make you feel more uncomfortable about the current Jeff Hardy angle, this is the show for you.
I was a bit uncomfortable. I know that I was uncomfortable with the moment where Jeff had mentioned that he passed out on his back porch.
Yeah.
His 4-year-old daughter came out to him, brought him a blanket, says, "Daddy, I'm still your friend even though you were drunk." Ouch.
Some very, very hard-hitting stuff. And let me just step that back. As far as the uncomfortability, I'm relating that to what they're doing now with the current angle with Sheamus.
Right.
That just tying that all in. Outside of that, it is a very eye-opening and a very, very candid documentary on the struggles that Jeff Hardy has faced. And it wraps it back around to, man, this is such a distasteful angle that they're currently doing, and there's no other way to put it. But yeah, 30 minutes in a very recent documentary too. I'm seeing part of the
so recent. It was last week.
Yeah, that was last
week.
I remember that time.
Yeah, there was a point in there, and I know we're bouncing around a little bit, but there was a point in there where he said that his court date was coming up. That was yesterday. It was July 16th.
It was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. So. Very, very relevant time to watch it.
So let's talk a little bit more about the history of Jeff Hardy, right? So Damien started the Pro Wrestling Report in 1998. The Hardys are already the Hardy Boys. They weren't Team Extreme yet, but they were wearing, I think it was the checkers at a plaid or whatever. Jeff had that bandana on. That's the era that they were in. I've been aware of the Hardy Boys the entire time. Damien was always a Hardy Boys guy. I was not a big fan of the Hardy Boys. To be honest, to me, it looked like Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. One had the talent, one didn't. Obviously, I've been proven wrong, tenfold, that Matt's got talent, Jeff's got talent, and they're both talented in different ways. I really started to kind of follow and appreciate Jeff's work and really start to care for him as a character and a on-screen talent when his music finally changed. Now he's back to the old Hardy Boy music, but I'm talking about when he went to the I got a chopstick in my pocket music, by Endeavor After. I love that music. I mean, I need something that, is not, because most people don't know this. The Hardy Boy music is public domain music.
Absolutely. So you can use that for anything that you want to use it for. You can use that as the background to your Cameo, Meathead.
Oh, I got a lot more backgrounds. Trust me, you should not have opened that can of worms with me, Phil. I mean, because
were you going to say that you got a lot more background?
Oh, I've got a lot more background. I've got what they call junkish in the trunkus.
There you go.
But with Jeff Hardy, kind of following the career, it was great to see Devon in the background. I know Devon's been working as an agent down at the Performance Center. And, them talking to each other about, you're not that man anymore. You can't do that stuff. Devon said, I'm not going up at the top of the ladder anymore. Get out of here with that. Your overall thoughts from the documentary, for one, and for two, just the career of Jeff Hardy. He says he's on strike 3, and he's well aware, he's very cognizant of where he's at. And again, very heartbreaking to hear him say that his 4-year-old daughter brought him a blanket because oh my God. I'm staring at my computer screen right now while we're doing this, and the background of the screen is my 2 daughters just staring back at me. So I could not fathom having them come to tell me that that they're still my friend, even though I'm passed out drunk on that.
Yeah.
That's tough.
I would have liked to have seen this be a little bit more, potentially of a career retrospective, not a full-fledged documentary, but my gut walking away from this is I feel like this is the closest that I've seen WWE come to using one of these documentaries to feel like they're capitalizing on an angle. There were several moments as it related to the whole Sheamus thing where it was almost like he was in kayfabe discussing the match, which was a little bit strange to me. It was, again, I could not believe how candid Jeff was during this whole process about, and it was a different feeling because it wasn't, this was years ago. This was my low point. He's talking about very, very recent history there. And I mean, even to the point of talking about how he's nervous and concerned about his court date, which was yesterday. So it was definitely a very unsettling piece to watch for me. I think largely because, man, this is not, somebody kind of looking at stuff after the fact. You're seeing it with the guy, while he is in the trenches. So a very different presentation, from the WWE than we're used to seeing. But as far as their career goes, I always, been very big, strong fans of the Hardys. And always what struck me is, when they were a tag team, a tag team that really, played off of each other's strengths. Matt and Jeff, 2 very, very different wrestlers, different styles. I mean, working great together. But man, when you really get them apart and look at the singles competitors, 2 very distinct personalities and very distinct size. And I think we've, seen that more in recent years as Matt has become, kind of this, has gone in his own direction. With the broken Matt Hardy character, and I think that's really we've really seen the difference in the 2 guys. Once we have kind of gotten them away from each other, and as it stands right now in different companies, as far as the Hardys and WWE, that run, one thing that I always wish that we got a little bit more of was a solid Matt Jeff feud. The most recent one going back in WWE was, that was the one that culminated at what, WrestleMania? Was it 25? I think it was the same year. I think it was the same year we had.
That was heel Jeff, I believe, wasn't it?
Was it heel Jeff or heel Matt?
I don't remember, but I'll be honest. My memory tells me that those Matt and Jeff matches were not what we wanted them to be.
No, they were not. And I remember, really just, I remember it being very quick too. I mean, I think the whole arc was basically the Rumble through WrestleMania, from what I recall. It seemed like it was very, very quick, and the matches just were, I don't remember them living up to what a lot of people had had hoped for. I remember like an ambulance match, or I remember there being, I have to go back and look and see exactly what the gimmicks were, but that's one thing I wish we got a little bit more of, in the WWE. And even this past run, I mean, I think there was a lot of people were hoping we were going to go a little bit more all in with the broken Matt Hardy character and kind of that interaction with Jeff. And it was just kind of they didn't really cross that much, but overall, I really, you leave this documentary really cheering for him and, hoping that, hoping that they've got a solid run for him. And it's just, man, I'm still very uncomfortable with the whole thing they're doing with Sheamus. And it's really, really close to the surface to be introducing it into the degree that they're doing it right now.
You hope that this documentary isn't there to feed the on-screen stuff that's going on right now, but I don't think it is. I just think that the on-screen stuff is just that uncomfortable because this documentary really lays in and lets you know that it is just the real deal. And again, like I said, I don't mean to make light of it, but while I was saying that, I was starting to shake a little bit looking at my daughters, thinking, what would it feel like if I had my daughter coming out to tell me that they still like me, even though I was passed out and drunk on the back porch? Yeah. It's tough. The good news, let's focus on the positive. The good news is Jeff is aware. Jeff, maybe this is the one. I'm more than willing to give opportunities to somebody that says, hey, I'm really trying this time. Can you help? Well, I can be there for you, whatever you need. I don't know Jeff. Jeff doesn't know me, but I hope that he hears this. Jeff, it's okay. Just keep trying. That's all anybody's ever asking you, is to keep trying. Really. I mean, that's all it is. So if you were to fall, or if I were to fall, that's all we ever ask and ever want. So he had fallen twice that we're aware of, that he's talked about, and now he's back up again. And when the person's up, you want to try them. When they're down, you try to pick them back up again, but you try to support them when they're up as well. So it's difficult. I am not a psychiatrist. I'm not a mentor. I just play one on this podcast, but that's what I would do. And it's ironic that we kind of segue into SmackDown because, again, the Miz and Morrison kind of suggested this match, and we're going to have the go-home SmackDown tonight, that Jeff should be wrestling Sheamus in a bar fight, in a barroom brawl, whatever they're calling it. What is this going to look like, Matthew?
Yeah, I think we're going to get another off-site, quasi-cinematic pieces that we've gotten during this era. I mean, the whole barroom setting does lend itself more to a traditional brawl. You've got more potential weapons built into the atmosphere than, say, you do in a graveyard. So I think that it's going to be not unlike something we've seen before. We've gotten some barroom pieces. We used to get them with the APA. It's not uncommon, but I think it's just going to be basically an old-fashioned street fight in a bar.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's a specialty match, an Extreme Rules horror show. Matthew, did you get a chance to listen to the PWR Today from yesterday? Did you see who showed up finally? You should probably know because I didn't call you. Yeah.
The Nelson guy? Was it that guy?
You should probably know that somebody else showed up because I didn't call you to come on the show because he didn't show up.
I thought I did it, but I must have dreamed that. I think that.
Yeah, you were probably doing the show on yourself. So if you were dreaming that, how was I responding? Because that's the part that we really need to talk to a doctor about.
That's because we're on the same page, man. It's that telekinesis,
Yeah, I've got ESPN as well. But Damian Nelson was pretty hot about the fact that he doesn't get any points for Fighter Fest and Fight for the Fallen and Great American Bash. But we got this Sunday. Yesterday we had the big super show that we're calling it with Shane Helms and with David Hero, because one's a superhero in wrestling and one's a hero in life. So the big super show, they go into in-depth detail. Make sure you're checking out the archives on that. We also got a big show tomorrow with all the associates as well, and there'll be a PWR draft update as well on the program tomorrow. So, man, we are pumping out the content. During this COVID era, obviously, we're trying to do what we can to entertain. Matthew, I know that you're going to be joining this cameo and doing what you can to entertain, even if it's only for $1.69. But, hey, you could have Matthew Thomas call you and say, hey, congratulations on that, appendectomy or whatever you had going on.
Oh, absolutely. Small surgical procedures like that. I mean, that might end up being my specialty. Just a little minor. I think wisdom teeth removal. I think there's a big market for people being congratulated on their wisdom teeth removal. When I got my wisdom teeth taken out, I mean, you know how happy I would have been to hear from myself, and that did not. That did not happen.
Where are you, Michael Scott, making videos for yourself?
That did not, I mean, it would have been a really good idea just after the fact. Congratulations, Matthew. You did a great job on,
you are those, Michael Scott. Hey, Michael,
getting those two.
Talk you down more than you. All right, do a little dance.
Well, here's the thing, though. That might actually be able to happen here in the very near future, because when they went in for my wisdom teeth last time, they only got 2. I've still got 2 more that I've been told actually need to be removed. So that might actually happen in short order. So I may very well be able to correct that and actually congratulate myself on a successful wisdom teeth removal here in the near future.
Because that's what really people tune in to PWR Today for. Let's talk more wrestling. It has always been rumored since the COVID has started, but WWE's WrestleMania for next year was supposed to be in LA, and it was supposed to go Hollywood. It is not. It's coming back to Tampa. So if we get back to a live arena setting where fans are allowed in, they're coming back to Tampa next year. What are your thoughts?
I think there's a way to actually have the best of both worlds. There is a Hollywood,
Van Halen
Florida.
from 5150?
There is a Hollywood, Florida. So,
wait, that's the home of Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah. Technically, you can have it in Tampa and actually still go Hollywood. Now, I don't have Google Maps in front of me, so I don't know exactly the distance from Hollywood, Florida to Tampa. But I'm saying you can still make both happen. No, I mean, here's the thing. I felt really bad that the people in Tampa, the people that were really geared up for this, got shortchanged, and I'm glad it's not being skipped over entirely, and I think probably it wouldn't surprise me if the year after that, you're back in California, and then you just go from there. I hate somebody, getting psyched up for a WrestleMania in their hometown and it just being skipped completely. So, I mean, I know the rationale was basically, where they're going to be at that point as far as large gatherings out in California. So, I mean, this was done for logistical reasons, but still, I'm happy for the people of Tampa to be able to, hopefully enjoy their WrestleMania next year. Hopefully by the time late March 2021 rolls around, everybody's going to be doing all kinds of large gatherings, and it will not be an issue. So hoping that takes place as planned now in Tampa.
I'm happy to see that it's going. I'm not sure that we will even get to March without Florida still being a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
I want it to be. I mean, obviously, I would like the world to go back to the way it was. Well, at least a safer version. I mean, because let's be honest, if you wash your hands and wash your ass, I mean, you should have been good the whole time. Not too many people are washing their hands because they don't wash their ass. So, I mean, that could be really part of what the problem is. If we would have practiced common sense and been washing our hands and doing whatever, maybe this wouldn't have spread. Or maybe, I don't want to go down a political path here, but maybe we should have just follow directions for a little bit. Yes, I am anti doing the, being a sheep, but still, you could have done a little bit better. Luckily for us, I don't know how Denver is right now, Matthew, but luckily for us here in the Fox Valley, which is Green Bay, Appleton area, middle of the state here, we're in really good shape. You know what? We're in really good shape. Now, unfortunately, because of the dumpster fires that are on the East and West Coast and the South and, mass metropolitan areas, corporations are just spreading it out nationwide, all their rules and their restrictions and what have you. And not a big fan, but if you just wash your hands, cover your mouth when you cough, cover your nose, stick your nose in your elbow or inside your shirt when you sneeze. Basic stuff, man. Wash your hands, wash your ass.
I think that's a T-shirt right there.
Wash your hands, wash your hands.
I think that's a T-shirt, or if somebody's not getting that message and you need to reinforce that to a significant other or a loved one, I think you'd be happy to tell them via Cameo.
There you go. Via Cameo, the only message I give is wash your hands, wash your ass.
Simple, concise, and to the point, and potentially the title of this morning's podcast.
That might be, because we joke about, you told me you've loved some of the titles. We joke, and that might have to be one of them. Wash your hands, wash your ass. That might be a t-shirt.
Hey, and watch the ratings soar. I mean, just like Jericho, he knows all about that demographic that you want to hit. I mean, I think that's popular in our demo.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a demo god, but I try to play one on this podcast. So, hey, Matthew, that's about all I got. Anything else you need to add before we're out of here for the day? We're headed towards the weekend.
Hey, I think we covered all the bases going into a pay-per-view weekend. So I imagine there'll be plenty to talk about next week.
Definitely tune in Monday morning. Linda and myself will be breaking down what happened at Extreme Rules, the horror show, and we'll have a PWR update as well with the draft. For Matthew Thomas, I'm the man they call Meathead. Thanks for stopping by. So long, everyone.